I think we're going to get started. So, first of all, welcome everybody to Glow. It's going to be a great night tonight, and it's going to be a great afternoon. This is so tall. Okay. Or I'm very short. One of the two. One of the two. Okay. So, our first presenter today is Deborah Likemark. Some of you may know Deborah. She's the CEO and company founder of Culinary Capers, a very, very successful catering company. Deborah served on the International Caterers Association Executive Board for 9 years, and including a 2-year term as president. She's been featured by Profit Magazine for several years as one of Canada's top 100 business owners. Other career highlights include successfully launching Culinary Capers Catering onto the international stage by taking part in 3 Olympic Games. That's fantastic. Uh, Deborah has brought some arsenal with her. Very exciting. We're going to be talking about weed as well. So please help me welcome Deborah Likemark.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So, thank you very much for coming to the Food Trends Seminar. Can everybody hear me all right? Yeah? Okay. So, I'm going to talk about a few different trends that I'm seeing that are getting very strong and are not going to be going away. So, we need to get on top of those if we aren't already. The first trend is health and wellness focused food. Avocado toast, as everybody knows, has been everywhere from the casual pubs to the high end restaurants. And a couple of versions that we've done at Culinary Capers is to do a build your own avocado toast bar for lunches where people can help themselves and create their own avocado toast. And we've also done mini bite size avocado toasts, which are right there as an hors d'oeuvre that's passed or set out. But avocado is going to continue to be in demand due to its high fiber content, which aids in digestion, and it tops the charts among all fruits for folate, potassium, vitamin E, and magnesium. As well, the monounsaturated fat in avocados helps to lower cholesterol. New trends in avocado dishes. Start looking out for avocado popsicles and try making them yourself with coconut milk, avocado, lemon juice. Freeze it and then dip it in dark chocolate for a healthy, yummy treat. Or a vegetarian starter or entree made with grilled watermelon, topped with chunks of avocado, feta, pistachio, and fresh mint. Delicious and refreshing. Carrots. Carrots are no longer a side dish for roast chicken or a shredded garnish on salad. They're much more than that now. Bright yellow, purple, red, white, and orange heirloom carrots are moving on to become a main ingredient. Thanks to agricultural research, heirloom tomatoes are more flavorful and have 75% more beta carotene than they had 20 years ago. And beta carotene is what helps you to make vitamin A in your body. Each pigment color of the carrot has different health benefits, and they range from lowering the risk of prostate cancer, preventing heart disease, and healthy eye health, good eye health, and maintaining that. Meal delivery is also a big trend, and the demand for delicious, healthy options is exploding. We are the largest corporate catering company in the Lower Mainland, and last year we revamped our menus for breakfast and corporate drop-off lunches, and we're including a lot of power bowls and salads that incorporate ancient grains, dark leafy greens, fruits, seeds, nuts, and organic vegetables. And these items are selling very, very well. So if you are in the business, make sure you're giving your clients lots of healthy choices and explaining to them what is in the food, because people are very interested in trying to eat healthy and maybe not taking so many vitamins and so on. We've also developed gluten-free dessert squares and cookies which incorporate quinoa, dark chocolate, nuts, using dried fruit, honey, and coconut milk as natural sweeteners. Sustainability is on everybody's radar, which is why we choose to deliver on reusable platters, and bowls, Schaefer's, and tiffin boxes. The tiffin boxes are quite fun. They're down in the corner there. They were first used and are still used in India to deliver hot lunches, thousands and thousands and thousands of hot lunches every day. And the guys actually put them on rods and actually get onto the transit with these rods with all these tiffin boxes hanging off and go out and distribute these hot lunches to people. So we've started using the tiffin boxes for our hot, healthy lunches, and they have 3 compartments so you can keep the cold stuff away from the hot stuff. And it's a really fun way to do a corporate lunch where everybody has their own little tiffin box. So, probiotic foods, fermented foods are in demand, and more menus will offer kombucha, sauerkraut, pickles, probiotic yogurt, miso, and kimchi. This particular kombucha is locally made. It's very good, and it's delicious, and it's made from all local ingredients, and they change up some of the flavors with the seasons. It's a popular trending item to get on to your menus for restaurants or for catering. Desserts. Dessert isn't going to go away, but it's going to get healthier. So we substitute heavy cream for coconut milk and fruit purees in desserts, or evaporated skim milk in pastries and cakes. Choose dark chocolate over milk chocolate, and experiment with substituting coconut oil for butter. In muffins, cakes, and breads, substituting 3/4 of a cup of applesauce for every cup of oil is a much healthier way to make muffins. And you can also use pureed dried fruits, honey, maple syrup, or natural plant-based sweeteners like yakin root and lucuma powder instead of sugar in desserts. The last 2 we're just starting to experiment with, but they're very healthy. And yakin root is spelt with, just like bacon, with a Y, and lucuma is Lucuma. Yakin root is from the bulb of a daisy, and yucama is a type of fruit, and it is dried, and then it is turned into a powder, and it's from Peru. So garnishing your desserts as well with fruit sauces and fresh fruit instead of using something like creme anglaise or ice cream is a much healthier choice for your clients. Local and seasonal ingredients. Menus are focusing more and more on local and seasonal food, which is fantastic. Now it's time for all of us to take it to the next level by introducing our clients to less common foods that we have locally, such as squab, venison, bison, lamb, quail, pheasant, octopus, albacore tuna, steelhead trout, and northern caviar sturgeon, and northern divine caviar and their sturgeon are both wonderful ingredients. Wild, locally foraged ingredients will be an important addition to menus. Items such as BC wild mushrooms, huckleberries, ramps, sea beans, fiddleheads, stinging nettle, licorice root, and mustard flowers. A lot of these items are available through Makuni Wild Harvest. If you haven't used them already, they're amazing, and you should definitely check them out. Soul Food Street Farms is another favorite supplier of ours, and it is an urban agricultural project in Vancouver. It's the largest urban farm in the city, and they employ low-income residents from the downtown east side. The produce is amazing, and it's available to food establishments and at local farmers markets that specialize in using locally sourced ingredients. The next big trend is plant-centric. This trend is going to take center stage this coming year. A U.S. market study showed that 35% of millennial guests are looking for more vegetarian options on menus. It is gaining traction due to concerns about climate change and our carbon footprint. Agriculture is one of the largest sources of heat trapping greenhouse gases, in particular farming of beef and lamb and that type of thing. So by eliminating meat from your diet, you can cut your carbon footprint in half. By also eliminating dairy, you can cut your carbon footprint by 2/3. We will see some people adopting a less drastic approach by just cutting their portion of meat to maybe 3 ounces a day, for example, and make up the rest of their protein by eating legumes and ancient grains. The plant-centric trend made it necessary to develop more and new exciting vegetarian and vegan offerings. Some of our offerings, for example, they range from hors d'oeuvres right through. There's a vegan celeriac crisp, which is topped with a beet tartare. We have Fraser Valley roasted pumpkin tart with house-made cheese, roasted pumpkin seed, and red onion reduction. Vegan cauliflower quinoa falafel, which can be an hors d'oeuvre or it can be a main. Vegan butternut squash terrine. Again, we can do that as a small bite size, or we can do it larger for a vegetarian option. Vegan oven roasted beets with puffed kamut, and green beans with artichokes and tomato salad with a hazelnut vinaigrette. Plant-based root to stem cooking is also part of reducing our carbon footprint and reducing our grocery bill. We need to be using as much of the plant as possible by roasting your squash seeds or making a vibrant pesto with green tops of your beets and cooking and eating your vegetable skin on rather than peeling them. Innovative gluten-free, dairy-free options. As a caterer, wow, allergies are really tough for us because we're often doing very, very large parties. And there's maybe in a party of 150, it's not unusual to have 20 allergies that are all different or intolerances of certain foods or special diets. So this is not going away. So what we need to figure out is how to manage these expectations of our clients for a great food experience that they can enjoy and not drive our kitchen out of its mind. So in catering, we're often doing these large events. And so what we've decided to do in the kitchen is try to navigate that by doing some items and having some special products which eliminates lactose and gluten intolerance, for example, because there's a lot of that. So, for example, Next Gen flour, that's NEXTGEN, is a wonderful gluten-free and dairy-free flour. Not all gluten-free flours are dairy-free. Some of them have powdered milk in them. So just because it's gluten-free doesn't necessarily mean it's dairy-free. Coconut milk or almond milk, we're substituting for regular milk in cooking, and that is also gluten-free, and it's also lactose-free. The substitute for soy sauce is tamari, and not all tamaris are gluten-free, but make sure you look for the gluten-free sign on it because there are some very good products that are gluten-free in that category. Another thing that we use a lot for these lactose and gluten people and also vegetarians is making chickpea panisse, which is made from chickpeas, obviously, and it's cooked very similar to polenta and then cooled, and then you can make little cubes out of it for hors d'oeuvres, or you can make a larger one for an entree. You can also buy quinoa flakes to replace breadcrumbs, and it's lovely as well because it has a little bit of a nutty flavor. We usually, for bigger events, we'll try to cook all of our vegetables and potatoes in olive oil instead of butter so that it's lactose and gluten-free. Sauces, we do pure reductions, so there's no dairy or gluten in any of the sauces that we're making. Rice crisps. That's another fun thing to do that is gluten-free and lactose-free. And it is used in this example as an hors d'oeuvre. So we cook the rice, puree it, dehydrate it, and then we put toppings on it like the tuna, or we can do a beetroot topping. We can also do black rice, and we can put some beautiful crab on top. That's a great option, and we also use it for garnishing. The other one that we make is a celeriac crisp, which I mentioned earlier, and there's a picture there, and it's dehydrated and then made crispy, and then we top it with different toppings. This one's got a beetroot topping. Also chickpea tartlets, which are the next picture here, and it's made with a chickpea crepe that we then bake until crispy, and then we fill it up. This one's filled with a beautiful chicken spicy salad. And quinoa flour. We use quinoa flour, we make it in our kitchen. It has no stabilizers in it, and it has no gluten and no lactose in it. So it's a great choice and delicious choice. Those quinoa cookies are probably the biggest seller we've got right now for cookies, and the bars are delicious as well. So 2 more trends to bring up, and then I get to introduce the real fun part. Global cuisine. We have been very blessed in Vancouver to have such a multicultural city with great food, products from the ocean, and great vegetables and farmland and oceans and rivers. Now we need to take those items and be more exciting with them, because people are wanting a big array of ethnic flavors, bold flavors, and a lot of global cuisine is really, really popular these days. Some examples of things that we do: there's the bao bun with pork belly and Szechuan flavoring. We do a lot of poke, and we often do it as a station or in a roving cart where people can help the chef create the flavoring they want. That's one is done with tuna and sockeye. We're also loving doing the East Coast style seafood boils, which we use turkey sausage, Dungeness crab, lobster, clams, and mussels, and corn, and new potatoes. South American cuisine is big. We love these arepas, and we make lots of different South American dishes. Moroccan cuisine. This is a beautiful chicken tangine. And then other cuisines that are really doing well and really trending are Middle Eastern and Lebanese and Filipino. Lots of variety, lots of delicious food, and lots of bold flavors. Our last trend up here is fun desserts. So playful desserts are a big trend, and we're having a lot of fun with it. So these ones here are boozy milkshakes. You don't have to put booze in them, but it makes it more fun. And they're with a little mini donut on the straw there. On the next picture, we've got coconut chocolate sorbet rocks. And these are really fun, especially to do at the event, at a station, because the rocks are frozen sorbet that are broken up into chunks, dipped in chocolate, and then dipped into liquid nitrogen so it freezes. And this has been plated up with carrot sponge and raspberry and edible flowers. And then there's always the favorite s'mores. People can't get enough of s'mores. We do a lot of them, some of them where they're doing their own roasting of their marshmallows, and some where we're doing it in the oven and just passing it as a small s'more sandwich. Deconstructed apple pie is always a favorite. And I've been looking at that Banksy picture that was all shredded up, and I'm thinking, maybe we should do a really beautiful dessert, have a plate on the table, and then smash it right in front of people. What do you think? Think they'd like that? I don't know if the pastry chef would. Okay. Then there's orange blossom, panna cotta with cardamom, and again, the mini donut on top to give it a fun factor. So that's what I see coming on the horizon for this year. But the thing that's very interesting and very trending right now, which I brought my friend Christina Michael to come and talk to you about, is cannabis infused foods. So I'm going to make way for Christina.
I'm very short, so I'm just going to move this down. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm Christina Michael. I'm a good friend of Deb's. I am located here in Vancouver. I'm the VP of Business Development for a company called CBD Strategy Group based out of Montreal. We are a cannabis-focused company where we do communication, architecture, brand development, and design thinking for companies in the cannabis industry, from licensed producers to retail to brands, and the oncoming new emerging industries such as cannabis-infused cooking. We're going to get into CPGs, edibles, consumables, and topicals, obviously, as that market starts to evolve throughout legalization in the next 12 to 24 months. So that's what we do. Our mission is to help brands thrive inside the box of cannabis regulations. So nothing that we do in our company is in the gray or black market now. Everything is in the white space. So we will walk through and help navigate any company through, or person, for example, to understand how to work within regulations and have some fun and stretch the limitations, but still be very mindful of legalization. Cannabis food and beverages that are not for purchase. This is a very confusing subject for everybody in the marketplace now that legalization has occurred. Cannabis infused, CBD infused, hemp infused CBD products are not legal in our country yet. They probably will not be for another 12 to 18 months, we hope. And that means anything you're seeing out on the marketplace right now is a black market product. So nobody can be making it. There are lots of regulations that are going to happen with that, and we'll get into that at the end of this presentation when I tell you a little bit about what we're going to do in January. What's permitted? You can go to your local source and purchase regulated cannabis or in oils, but dried flower mostly is what we would recommend. And you can take it home and you can decarb it and you can actually make foods in your own home and share them with your friends. So that's fine. Do not give them to anybody under 19 and make sure you plan ahead and nobody drives home. Well, they probably might want to sleep over and have cannabis-infused breakfast. Who knows? What is to come? Obviously, I just talked about that. Edibles are to come in our marketplace over the next year. We're going to see that there's going to be a lot of really interesting companies coming up with different cannabis-infused, THC and CBD-infused products from, obviously, mostly everyone's looking at chocolate and beverages and things like that. It will change slightly over time because you won't be able to do anything that, is attractive to the youth. So there will be a lot of things going on in the industry that we'll have to be mindful of. And again, working with a cannabis-focused company can help you navigate the regulations as to where and when we can do things and be creative in terms of branding and communication and design and your logos and all that sort of stuff. What's next? We're going to go a little heavier into cannabis culinary experiences. As I mentioned, you can do in-home cooking. So you can choose to purchase your own cannabis and you can make whatever you want with it at home, share it with your friends, and so on and so forth. Buying cannabis right now, you're allowed to buy 30 grams of dried flower, and you can actually yield about 150 grams of different product from that while you're at home. So you can really get creative in what you're doing. Private catered dining experiences. This is something that we feel is going to be trending in the new year as well, because people are going to start understanding you can cook with cannabis at home. So one of the things is work with a caterer or work with a chef to plan a menu. They can come and continue to actually cook in your home. That said, they cannot buy the cannabis for you. They cannot decarb it for you in your own home. And they cannot obviously serve it to youth or anybody else. But what you can do is have them come to your home, plan the event, plan the menu, buy all the ingredients. You can make your own decarbed cannabis ingredient, whether that's going to be an olive oil, or coconut oil, olive oil, or butter. Yes. Well, decarbolization is really when you take your dried cannabis and you dry it out, and you do your own extraction process at home. I'm not going to get into the science of explaining it, but there's lots of things online. There's lots of cookbooks, and there's some machines actually available as well that you can purchase to help you decarb it yourself. So once you do the extraction process yourself at home, you can use any fat or oil. We recommend obviously a high grade, like a high grade coconut oil, high grade olive oil, high grade butter, and you can infuse that, and then you can microdose your menu items with that as an ingredient. So if you do, you can also hire a chef that can come in that will cook with you, and you can start to learn how to make your own cannabis creations at home. So you can have a lot of fun with it and go from there. What we're not going to see anytime soon is private dining experiences where you will go to a restaurant, you will be ordering cannabis-infused products off their menu. One of the reasons obviously is cross-contamination, just like with nuts. You can't be having somebody that's coming into your restaurant to eat a normal pasta, and yet someone just cooked something with a cannabis pasta before, and you're thinking, wow, why do I feel so funny? That must have been very good pasta. And then you're going to order a whole bunch of desserts after, and like, it's not going to make sense. Where you are, cannabis can be purchased legally in Canada now. As you all know, as of October 17th, everything went live. What you can do is go on to your website, the Canadian Health Services website. You can take a look. Be sure you're mindful of what province you're living in, and it's by province. You can buy locally. Not anywhere here except for Kamloops, I'm sorry to say. But you can purchase online via the BC website. And there's a link on there that you can just click on. You might want to do a little research before you buy, because they don't really offer a lot of information on the websites right now as to what kind of, like, Bubba Kush means nothing to you probably, and it certainly didn't mean anything to me a long time ago either. So it can be a little confusing. The things that are available obviously are dried flower you can purchase from regulated sources and regulated LPs that have an ACMPR license. You can do sublingual oils you put under the tongue, wait a little while and go forth. You can spray, capsules, pre-rolls, and there's accessories available on all of these websites as well, and local stores as well as provincial stores. Yeah. No, I'm going to get to that in the next slide. That's a great question, though, because they can all be used in food, but given the licensed producers that are under regulations producing the cannabis in the marketplace right now, we wouldn't recommend anything other than using dried flower. So that's going to give you the best result, the best outcome, the best integrity of your food, the best taste, and all of those things. Also, that's because when you're using oils and other products that already have been extracted, you can't account for what extraction process has been used. And you just want to really kind of go fresh. Go fresh or go home. So using the dried flower, as I just said, is the most important part. Obviously, you're going to look at different variables in there as potency, if you're looking for a high THC content, a low CBD content, or vice versa. There's other things when you want to cook with cannabis, you have to be very mindful of your heat to not compromise the integrity of the cannabis itself or the outcome of the oil. You can't put direct heat. You don't want to burn anything, just like you would with cooking anything. You don't want to burn garlic, you don't want to burn your onions, you don't want to burn anything. So treat it like it is an ingredient that has some special qualities, and just read up on how to do that. Next slide, Kevin. Thank you. So these are just the things that we wanted everybody to consider when you're cooking with cannabis to get the best outcome. Is obviously you take your time in consideration in choosing your product. If you need to call and talk to a bud tender at a local store or something, they can kind of walk you through different options and different blends, or what everyone's calling strains and so forth. Like I said before, you might want to consider THC versus CBD. A THC is going to give you more of the psychoactive component, and obviously when you're doing edibles, it can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 hours for that to come on. So be mindful of planning and understanding through the process of your menu, if you decide to do a full menu option, where you're deciding to put the ingredient throughout the evening. And potentially that leads us into the next one. What about the terpene profiles you're looking at? So a terpene profile is limonene, for example, is a citrusy profile, a citrusy terpene that's like a lime. It's a very enthusiastic fruit, and so is that terpene. So you're going to get a more of a, a fun kind of enthusiastic vibe out of it. And again, I'm going to preface that everybody's genetic makeup is different. So what may work for you and you're going to have a good time, somebody may fall asleep in their pasta halfway through dinner. So just be mindful of that as well. And using your carrier oils as I talked about before, in terms of buying a high quality coconut oil, a high quality butter, a high quality olive oil, whatever you're choosing to use, grapeseed oil as well, whatever you choose to use, just use something that's of high grade so you're really keeping the integrity of your dish versus just the cannabis itself. And then, proper kitchen utensils. Make sure you're micro-dosing things so somebody's not going to get their dish and they have 10 grams and the buddy next to them maybe has 1. And they're not having any fun. You wonder why. And you think you're really funny, but they're like, I don't get it. So you want to be able to do that. And then, there's lots of different things you can do. It's not just about making cookies or brownies. There's lots of different things you can infuse into your products. You can also do beverages, which can make things really fun as well. And there's lots of cookbooks and resources online that you can access that will give you step-by-step. And there are some chefs, although there isn't a culinary school of cannabis cooking yet, there are some chefs that have been specializing in cannabis, and there are shows on television, and there's YouTube videos and things like that available to you to get you through the process. But most importantly, start low dose and go slow and enjoy your food. Don't speed eat. So in January, CBD Strategy Group, in association with BC Food Processors, Culinary Capers, and Waterview Event Space, we are going to be having an event probably around LIFT, which is around the 9th to 14th of January, where we'll be having about hopefully 150 people at this event, and we will be diving in on a much deeper level around consumables, edibles, topicals. We will have our panel of speakers is across the country from some amazing organic licensed producers and extractors and cultivators to consumer packaged goods specialists specializing in the cannabis industry itself. We'll be talking about regulations, compliance, and all the fun things that are about to happen when creating your edibles, consumables, and topicals, consumer packaged goods in our country. So we're embarking on some really exciting things. It'll be interesting to see where we go, and we invite you to join us. BCFPA will likely be the company. I think that's where we're really going to go, is they're going to be putting forth all the invitations out. Dependent on the outcome of the first round of ticket sales, we may do a morning and an afternoon event to make sure everybody's available to go. It's an organization that goes by province, so every province has a food processing association. BC's, they focus on manufacturing, mostly focused on manufacturing. So they have processing and manufacturing companies, and then they have companies like Culinary Capers, and even CBD Strategy Group is an associate member because we work with CPGs and we can help brands develop in the marketplace. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. You're welcome.
I'm hungry, and I know some of my 80s folks are out there thinking that whole thing was super cool. We unfortunately ran out of time, and we're going to have to bring on our next presenter, but you guys are hanging out for a while, right? Going to be okay. Awesome, but you're here. So some of the folks are going to be here if you guys have any questions. I'm sure you wouldn't mind answering, but it was great, and I'm hungry. So that was awesome. Thank you.